Not the same without you, so it's really nice to have you back.
Nice to meet you.
And I apologize, because I'm going to bring the tone right down after that serious question.
Oh, great.
I was just wondering, on a scale from Jensen's bare butt to Rob's bare everything, how internet breaking do you expect your role on The Boys to be?
I have to admit, like, going into the Boys, I did have a bit of trepidation, because we talked about me being on The Boys before I saw what it was that Eric wanted me to do. And I was kind of imagining, like, you know, Eric would give me a character who chokes to death on his own penis, or something like that. Like, I was thinking, like, oh my God, can anything be as bad as what happened to Rob? But I'm not gonna spoil things for you. But Rob might still take the cake. I mean, it was pretty impressive. I laughed when I told this to Eric, but I was like, you know, Eric, it's funny, like, you really helped boost Rob's career. You wrote him into Supernatural. You made him into God on Supernatural, and you gave him a ton of work there, but also, you know, a lot of exposure in a really cool role. And then you're like, and now I'm going to destroy your career. And I'm going to make you eat your own ass on national television. International television. Oh my God. I wish there had been video footage of Rob when he's like, oh my God, Ruth, honey, Eric is going to bring me on The Boys. He says it's a pretty big role. He says there's going to be a lot of me, actually. I don't even know. He says we're going to see me from all angles. I don't know. But I'm really excited. And then that footage of him, like, reading the script, and he's like, oh, there's, honey, look, there's my character name. Oh yeah, it looks really... Honey. What's that?
Your script experience wasn't quite like that.
It wasn't as traumatizing. Not quite. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for bringing that traumatizing moment to my mind.
Yes. There's this one little part where he's like this. And then he kind of like turns out toward Hermione. Do you remember that little like touch? God.
I'm asexual, and that scene made me even more asexual.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that I honestly don't think that a lot of people masturbated to that scene. I think most people probably found it pretty off-putting. Yeah.
I know there's always some weird shit among the fans, so I'm really surprised. Anyway, first of all, you look fucking amazing. And I was wondering, after playing Cast for so many years, what are some things that you learned from him and things that you apply into your day-to-day life because of him?
Well, you know, my mind is going actually to what I learned working on Supernatural for so many years. And it's actually, I think, a lesson that sort of overlaps between the experience of working with a crew like that and the character of Castiel and his relationship with Sam and Dean. But working on Supernatural, we were a part of a big team. You know, there's like 150 people on the crew, right? And everybody has to show up, and everyone has to do their job. Everyone has to do their part. If the on-set painter isn't on their game when they have to fix something on the wall, 150 people are sitting around waiting. If I don't know my lines, or if I'm being a prima donna on set, which is my natural inclination, then everyone, 150 people are left in the lurch. And there was a real culture on that set of just showing up and doing the work and not complaining. Like, we would be outside in the winter in Vancouver when it was raining and below freezing. Like, that doesn't really happen, I guess. But it was really, really cold and really wet, and it was 4 o'clock in the morning, and everybody was still working and nobody was complaining. And so it had the effect of kind of toughening me up and making me realize, like, I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna do the work, I'm gonna be grateful to be here, I'm not gonna complain, and I'm gonna think about the whole team that I'm impacting. And that has stayed with me in a lot of different ways. But I think that same kind of ethos, that same kind of mentality was also within the dynamic between the fictional characters of Sam, Dean, and Cass. Like, you didn't see Dean or Cass complaining about being chilly very often in the show, if you'll notice. They were just like, and I think that that's part of what what the audience loved about the show. It was kind of, there's something aspirational about it. Like, these people are facing impossible odds, and they're outnumbered and they're outgunned time and time again, and yet they show up with grit and resolve and determination, and they don't fail, and they have each other's backs. So I think those things are inspiring to me as well as to the audience. You know?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, nice to see you.
Hi.
I originally wanted to ask something about The Boys too, but you can't answer. So, what's your favorite Castiel scene like of all time?
My favorite Castiel scene, I would have to say, is the last scene that Cass did. Or I guess I did it. But I think that was my favorite. I loved getting to have that be my goodbye on the show, and the message that it sent, and the evolution of the character that represented. I mean, he went from showing up on Earth looking at humans as this strange alien race that he was really perplexed by and trying to decipher. He went from that to realizing, like, oh, I'm actually motivated by the love for another human being and being so fully integrated with mankind. And I think that was a really beautiful character arc to have be the resolution for Cass. So I think that's my favorite.
Yeah, it's really meaningful. Thank you.
Thank you. Creating a huge disturbance here. Hi, everyone. We missed you. We were just talking about you. Hi.
Hi. I am going to torture you with another voice question.
Oh, fuck.
Sorry, but it's more in a way you can talk about it.
Okay.
So, not having in mind whatever Kripke gave you, what would your idea of either a superhero or a boy's character be for the show, in your mind?
I can't think of anything like that's not like semen related. It's I mean, the characters that Eric is creating on the show now, it's like as he's wrapping up season 5, he's coming up with stuff that's like, what the fuck, man? What? It really do. It does make what happened with Rob seem like really remarkably tame. And he was describing some particular superhero characters that he's created that he had like really big established kind of movie stars set to play, and then they got the script and they were like, oh no, no, I'm not doing that. Yeah, I don't really know the answer to that question, but I can tell you that I had a lot of fear going into this process. Like, is Eric gonna just like turn me? Is my character gonna be someone who is like their superpower is that they can turn into semen and then just like spray up somebody's nose and explode their brain? Like what is he gonna do to me? And I can say that did not happen. Yeah, thank you, Marcel.
There's some good ideas there.
Yeah, really good ideas. Hi.
Hi. Thank you for coming to Italy.
Thank you for allowing me into your country.
Which is which is the link between you and Castiel? Do you have something in common?
Is there anything in common with Castiel?
Yeah.
Well, I've heard people have said that we look alike. And that we have similar speech patterns and sound similar. So I don't know that there's. No, we don't. That's actually a good point. I really don't sound like Castiel. I was at the gym and Supernatural came on, and I was like, "Hey guys, can you turn that up? It's a really good show." And it was me and it was Cass and Dean talking in a scene, and we were both like, "Hey Dean, hey Cass." I was like, what the fuck were we doing? Were we fooling anyone? Did anyone think that we actually thought like, hey, we're gonna sound really tough? You believed it? You actually thought we were tough? Hilarious. I think that Cass is very conscientious and like really cares about other people or about people and tries to do the right thing. And I like to think of myself that way as well. Now the people that know me well would argue with that, but that's how I think of myself. So maybe that, yeah. And also, you know, Castiel, his true form is as big as the Empire State Building, and I have to say, it's not far off, so.
It doesn't show!
Who was that? Hi.
Hi. I have a situation.
It's wrapped up my back. Just so you know. There's a harness, okay? Such a gross thought. Yes?
If all main actors of Supernatural were on the plane that was about to crash, and you had a parachute to save one of the actors,
Well, I feel like You mean like me, Jared, and Jensen?
Let's maybe take all actors in Supernatural.
All of the actors on Supernatural?
Yes.
I was gonna say the oldest one should take a parachute, but not if all of the cast is there. I don't know. I think we should just do something like arbitrary but fair. To decide, like a little contest or something to just determine.
If you have no time.
We have no time, but very quickly, like who can do the most accents?
Oh.
No, I'm just picking that one, but I think that's really I think it should be me. And I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you why. Because I think that I will be best positioned to tell the world what wonderful people my costumes are. And I can convey that in a really eloquent way, you know? Because I've written some poetry, I can make it very poetic. And I think that that is what everybody would want. I think you'll agree, right? And I think they would agree as well. That's what they would want. They would want to be remembered in poetry written by me. So I think that we have actually had this experience, you know. There were several Supernatural cast members who were on a plane. Do you know this story? It was actually right before, it was the last convention before the pandemic. It was actually the night that I filmed my last scene on Supernatural. Castiel died. I said goodbye to the whole cast. And then, because we were shooting so late, and we had a convention in Las Vegas the next morning, the only way we could make it there in time is that the convention company Creation had to charter a plane to take us from Vancouver to Las Vegas. And so we got to the airport at like 2 o'clock in the morning, we got on the plane, took off, and we got about 15 minutes into the flight, and there was this huge explosion. It was like this flash of light and this like violent shock in the plane, and then the plane started like shaking and screaming. It was a jet plane, and one of the jet engines had literally exploded. You could see the engine out the window. The metal was all like shredded up on the jet engine. And the pilot got on the PA and was like, guys, we are turning back to Vancouver. We're gonna do an emergency landing. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but the engine is, like, we lost an engine, and it was like a screaming sound coming from the engine at this point. And the plane was just like barely staying in the air, it felt like. And so we all circled, we flew back toward Vancouver, and there was like 7 or 8 fire engines on the tarmac waiting for us. And as we came back into cell range, we all just like pulled out our phones and texted our wives and said, like, tell the kids I love them, because we thought we were gonna die. And there was one parachute, and Jensen did grab it for himself. It was interesting to see how we all responded to that experience. And remarkably, we all really did think, oh, we might be dying right now. It was like we were really confronted with that. And we were all remarkably calm in the process. Like, nobody was like, oh my God, like nobody was freaking out. And Jensen took the picture.
Thank you, Misha.
Thank you.